Hello, and today we have a very special video for you as UVS Games has sent us a booster box of the new TMNT set and the starter deck itself. I'm really excited to get into both of these. All of the alt art characters in the set itself look really cool, as well as, there's just some really neat cards that I'm very excited to build with and play around with as we're going into both the Canada and the Atlanta regional. That said, we're going to go ahead and start with the starter deck here. Starting with the starter deck. The thing that I'm most excited about with the starter deck itself is the fact that all of these cards, despite most of them being from the main set itself, aren't just the copies that you get in the main set. They're actually the retro framing or like the retro cartoon versions of the card, which all looked very cool in the preview season. So I'm really excited personally to see what they actually end up looking like. So we've got a code here to learn to play. We've got the playmat, which I have in the cloth version. These were actually at Gen Con. They were very cool. I had to make sure I went ahead and grabbed one. If I remember correctly, they weren't too expensive either, which is great. So starting off, we have the retro Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, which are actually foil. I did not realize that it was going to be foil. The character itself, they're not really playable. They're only 22 health, but they're kind of neat for, if you grab two of these and play with a friend, I think they could offer some interesting gameplay with their very like Giro-like enhance ability. But yeah, we'll just quickly go through these. We have High 3, which I believe is one of the exclusive cards to the starter decks. I actually think this one's kind of crazy because it just makes the speed and damage of a move 6. So like imagine playing this into like Besiege, which is not a very well statted move, but has very, good blitz ability. That seems like it's going to be a really interesting play pattern. Next we have Splinter. This one's also very cool. As long as we are playing a mutant character, we could do essentially abort an opponent's attack, which is very cool. Kind of reminiscent of Swordfish too, which is a retro card that is very neat. Next we have Freaking Out. Going Out, Growing Up Fighting, martial arts moves. Really love the art on these, to be honest. The retro cartoon art, I don't know what it is about it, but it's kind of like, to me, I also reactive kick is our next one, by the way. It feels a lot like chibi art, like we've seen with the MHA sets, and I really like that kind of art style too. So it's really cool to see. We have Redirecting Push, Ancient Secrets of Ninjutsu, Daily Meditation, Daily Training. Oh yeah, this is the one that we just get to free build a foundation as long as it's 3 or less. I really like cards like that. I feel like fan favorite, another card that's kind of like that, is really neat, yet it hasn't really seen its time in the limelight. So I'm really excited. I want to see people kind of build with these cards that have alternative ways of getting foundations into your stage. Next we have Defend the Innocent. Just really good to be able to block and keep drawing. Good Deeds. Hungry for Pizza. I know this set, having drafted it because the pre-release was already had this last weekend. There's a lot of cards that say +2 speed in this set for whatever reason, which is kind of interesting as we get some balance. As we've also have quite a few cards in the AOT sets that say -2 speed, so we get to fight over that speed a bit more. Card from your hand to the bottom of your deck. A one difficulty draw card is not too bad at all, especially on commit cost. Teenage Downtime is the name of that one. The long version, as we see, -2 speed. If it has a bunch of keywords, -3 speed. This one in particular, since it doesn't say printed, is going to be really good into sweeping daggers. As if you're still having trouble fighting against that card in your local meta like I am. Next we have Thumbs Up. And finally we have Youthful Optimism. So that was the starter deck. All in all, like I said, I really like the look of these cards. And they look even better in person than they did online. So I'll probably, any deck that I happen to build that uses any of these cards, I'll probably just automatically be slotting in the ones from the starter deck, as like I said, I really do prefer those. But now into the cool part, we actually get to open the booster box now. So let's go ahead and rip into this. In my experience so far, I think it's been we've been getting like 2 alt arts per box. And then I think not actually guaranteed by UVS Games, we're still getting at least 1 secret rare, which is really cool. Um, Also new to this set is going to be this code for free points. This is replacing the pack redemption. So feel free, whoever wants to get that first, go ahead and go redeem that. I'll probably have been too lazy to have done it by the time this video comes out. So, but yeah. So, starting off with the first pack here. And we'll just slide the uncommons to the front. I'll go a bit slower through the first few packs. But we have Bring Me, Stockman's Mutant, Ancient Secrets of Ninjutsu, Young and Free, Motivated by Revenge, Going Loud, Holding All the Cards, Out to Lunch, Hurling Insults, Totally Not Jealous. Our first character is going to be Wingnut, and our first UR is going to be Pizza Party. Your rival commits X foundations, you gain X health, X equals the number of pizza cards in your stage and card pool. So if you want to actually build around pizza, Michelangelo would be a really good character to do that around. And you get some actual, support for that, which is pretty cool. I don't really see it being useful, outside of decks that are running a lot of pizza cards, but now we have Anti-Mutant Neutralizer, Shock Baton Jab, Going Out, Collecting Scraps, Fully Equipped, Stunt Specialist, Leonardo's Discipline, Shopping List. This one's really funny in retro. There's quite a few cards and characters that care about the amount of keywords. So anytime we get these cards that are like a crap ton of keywords and nothing else really, they're still really fun to play with in retro, which is neat. Stuff like Midnight or Demon Realm Awakening. That said, in the actual set, if you play this with Patchwork Baby, this could also be really good for that. Just give Patchwork Baby 6 damage or so, 7 damage. It looks like. Juggling Groceries, April, and Disable Enemy Machines. Let's see here. We have Heavy Toss, Grip of Cruelty, Sneaking Home, Catching Air. I really like Sneaking Home for the fact that we can protect our backups a little bit better, and also reset our backups with the new change to the unique rule. I think this one will actually maybe be important. Catching Air, already said. Hungry for Pizza, Funky Breath, Flurry of Blows, Growing Up Fighting, Share Shove, and our first alt art is going to be Leonardo the Leader. And it looks like it's just going to be the normal alt art, not the retro or the the toy one. And then lastly we have Leo's Katana. All right, looks like we got a UR. Accidentally spoiled ourselves there a little bit. Above the City, I'm Awesome, So Many Regrets, Youthful Optimism, Mean Intentions, Reboot, Brick Wall, Martial Knowledge, Virtuous Plans, Rocksteady, and it looks like that UR ended up being Chucking Cars. Yeah, this looks like the one, another one of the ones that cares about assets. Having ways to destroy your unique assets so that you can build in fresh copies is actually something that here at the MGLA we've noticed is kind of important. So having a card that does that, even if it's on a 6 diff, it's not the best, but still really cool to be able to make use out of those assets still. And then, of course, destroying your own opponent's assets. If they build in that 7 diff or are building around it, you can just say, I'm going to give +7 damage to my attack, and you don't get that one anymore. We have Anti-Mutant Neutralizer Shot, Grounded, Extra Supplies, Freaking Out, Hungry for Pizza, Dive Bomb Tackle, Always Angry, Cold and Calculating, Totally Not Jealous, Metalhead, and Exterminate Mutants. One of those scheme cards that I know a lot of people are building around. I know the one most people are building around, I think, is Equipment Heist, because that one's just obviously very good. But I think a lot of the scheme cards are probably going to get used quite a bit. We have Off the Wall Kick, Kamikaze Robots, Spinning Crescent Kick, Singing Fish. I noticed there's a lot of form foundations in this set while I was playing pre-release. That was very interesting to see. Quarterbacking from HQ, Daily Meditation, Stealth and Cunning, Gator Roll, Good Deeds, which we saw in the starter decks, Wingnut, and Story Pizza. Thrash About, Fleeing Danger, Heavy Feet, Going Loud, Funky Breath, Off Balance Techniques, Flurry of Blows, Out to Lunch, Guide to Self Defense, Superfly, and Molly Wop. Oh yeah, this is the one that's yeah, after you block, it's minus. It's kind of like a Worse Breaker 2, but it's not on the keyword, and there's some hate for Breaker 2. I'm not sure how I feel about it yet. I'll have to either try and actually play with it if it makes it into any decks and see how it feels in actual play. I'm gonna go ahead and stack these up. All right. Let's stay out. Spinning Swing. I've perfected the Ooze. Smash Through. Cohort Support. Reciprocate. Hurling Insults. Dream About Fighting. Disintegration. Donatello. This is easily the one that I'm most excited to build. And our rare is Villainous Plot. Which I think it's going to be really good to be able to reuse your schemes, especially in those decks that are building around Equipment Heist and some of the other schemes and whatnot. All right, we have Slow But Strong, Extra Cheese, Redirecting Push, Reciprocate, Roadhog, Fully Equipped, Dream About Fighting, Bold and Calculating, another shopping list, April O'Neil, and Mikey's Nunchaku. I really like how they did each of the weapons as assets. If this attack is not blocked, gets 1 damage, which is a really good effect, honestly. And then after you add 1 or more foundations to your hand from your stage, draw 1 card and discard 1 card. I think on a sacrifice cost, that's a lot, but I really want to see what it's like if you are able to build in multiple of Mikey's Nunchaku, and then the second they don't block, just go, all right, plus 4 damage now, which should be easy. It's on a 0 diff asset, so get that over there. Mechazoid, that one's going to be really fun to play around with as well, with the card that turns it into an attack. Daily Training, Hing 10. This card is absolutely nuts. If you have not played with it already, you should try and build around someone who gives a lot of speed, because like I said, it is just a absolutely bonkers card. The fact that this response is any amount of times that you want to play it, it's not limited at all, is just crazy. It can be really good draw engine, ready all your foundations, great. Goofing Off, Motivated by Revenge, Holding out all the cards, Flying Heel Kick, Hard Headed, Growing Up Fighting, Leatherhead. I know we have some people on the team who are very excited to build Leatherhead, and then Tongue Snatch. All right, Get the Horns, Flying Elbow Drop. Yeah, this is the one that you can replay. I think that one's going to be nuts and Pony. I know a lot of people don't, or some people don't necessarily believe in it for Pony, but I think it's going to be nuts for sure. Chair Spin, Bad Attitude, Catching Air, Hold On Tight, Watermelon Slice, Technological Advantage, Chair Shove, Bebop, and Dumbfounded. Go ahead while we have a second here in the comments. I'm curious what everyone's favorite card from the set is, or like what they're most excited to build is. Also, engagement is just naturally good for these videos, of course. So if you want to go ahead and put those in the comments, I'm really curious what builds people have been trying out. I haven't been able to quite figure out what I want to do with the set. I've been experimenting a bit with the 7 diff asset, and then I've been playing a lot of stuff that doesn't necessarily use the new set as well, that I was just kind of excited about off the heels of the last meta. But I'm really curious what people are building, so let me know down in the comments. Belly Bump, Jawsome Solution, April's Investigation, Freaking Out, Mean Intentions, Dive Bomb Tackle, Stealth and Cunning, Always Angry, Virtuous Plans, and April O'Neil is going to be our second alt art character. That one's very exciting. I know we have a few on the team who are very excited to build this character. Just because making your opponent check, I don't know. There's a lot of cool things you can do with her. So if you haven't tried her out, definitely look at some builds for her. And then gifts from Splinter. All right, we got Tool Toss, Full Focus, Busy Eating, Quarterbacking from HQ, Off Balancing Techniques, Cohort Support, Flying Heel Kick, Martial Knowledge, Disintegration, Rocksteady, and we got one of the Ooze cards. It's going to be Superfly Stomp. Spin momentum, your rival spins momentum, sacrifices when face of foundation. That's pretty good. Choose your deck for one card and add it to your discard pile. I think, yeah, I'm pretty sure this card is the one that people are playing in Ghidorah. There's some other character. Oh, you can play this in no Equipment Heist doesn't care about it. I don't know. There's some other character that cares about discards. I don't know if people are playing that this card in them. Yeah, I've definitely heard some rumblings. I'm not super excited to play against a Ghidorah that's can just go tutor their deck for whatever piece that they're missing to kill me or piece that they need to be able to survive the next string, right? We got Wipe Out All Humans, another one of those scheme cards. Lock and Load. Yeah, Lock and Load. I don't know why that looked like Lord to me. Shock Baton Jab, Goofing Off, Bad Attitude, Ripped Up, Watermelon Slice, Hard Headed, Guide to Self-Defense. Metalhead is our character, and Fillet Fling is our UR. If you play this card, add one face down card from your card pool to your hand. On a 3-diff, this is kind of neat. I don't know how much. I mean, obviously you have what Leatherhead. I think you can play that in, unless Leatherhead's the one I'm thinking of. So he's obviously pretty good with that card since he stuffs his own pool. I'm not sure. Oh, he also plays really well with Echo Attacks. That's what my team or what some people were talking about wanting to use that card with. I'm awesome. Imagine playing Trace Eyes into Fillet Fling and to play my Trace Eyes 2 more times. That's a pretty good line there. Unarmed Non-Combatant, Swooping In, Wingnuts Warning, Roadhog, Hold On Tight, Raphael's Disregard, Technological Advantage, Gator Roll, Bishop is our character, and Shell Shocked is our rare. I really like cards that make it a bit harder for my opponent to string out. So that's one that I was definitely excited about when I read it. The fact that it has stun 2 and makes your opponent makes it harder for your opponent to play more attacks is just absolutely beautiful and designed in a card. I'll have to find a deck to put that one in for sure. Anti-Mutant Neutralizer, Angry Flurry, I Perfected the Ooze, Collecting Scraps, Fully Equipped, Stunt Specialist, Misguided Big Brother, Brick Wall, Juggling Groceries. Leatherhead was not the one I was thinking of. We'll have to see which one I was thinking of that stuffs both people's pool. And then our rare is Charismatic Approach. Getting down to our last few packs here. So far, I don't think it's been too bad of a box at all. I really like both of the alt arts that we got. I'm not sure I'm gonna find a use for the Leonardo one, but maybe someone at my locals will. Daredevil, Colliding Heads, Reprimand, Tripped Up, Reboot, Stunt Specialist, Misguided Big Brother, Leonardo's Discipline, Gator Roll, Mega Mutant, and Mondo Gecko. I'm really excited to pull a Mondo Gecko. I've literally already put that card into a deck that I've been playing recently. It was actually Mitchell on, not that it matters what symbol you're on because it's good attuned, but it did happen to be on good, and it definitely felt good what little I played with it. And then Mega Mutant is our character, and I can tell you right now that one I'm also very excited for. I like anything that cares about ally cards, just because I was a huge fan of the Coda character card. back in MHA days. And +1 speed, +1 damage is just crazy. And I won't spoil which symbol you should build him on, but there's some really cool cards that you can play on one of his 2 symbols. The long version, pizza delivery, reactive kick, wing nuts warning, daily meditation, youthful optimism, Raphael's disregard, then the innocent, juggling groceries, teenage mutant ninja turtles is our character, and hunting mutants is our rare. I know that yet another one of the characters that I know a lot of people are excited to build for. Maybe excited to build for isn't quite the right word. I know people think that that character is going to be nuts, and so do I. So we'll have to see how nuts builds people can do with the bad checks, not decks, and stuff like that. Machine mayhem. Don't use that word. Too slow. Smash through. Collecting scraps. Singing fish. Brick wall. Horseplay. Good deeds. Splinter. And equipment heist. I think that's the first one I've pulled at all. Like I said, that card's truly nuts. Build, search deck or discard. Build any asset is just a really, really good ability, it turns out. Tool toss. Bring me Stockman's Mutant, Sneaking Home, Catching Air, Hungry for Pizza, Funky Breath, Raphael's Disregard, Misguided Big Brother, Technological Advantage, Bebop, and our rare is a Knockout Punch. Alright, down to the last 4 packs here. We have Wipe Out All Humans, Young and Free, Angry Flurry, Goofing Off, Bad Attitude, Tripped Up, Hard-Headed, Guide to Self-Defense, Then the Innocent, Mega Mutant again, and Scaling Heights is our rare. I always find the last few packs, when you've already pulled your SR, can be, a little underwhelming. But let's hopefully pull something really cool here in the last few. Unarmed non-combatant, Creating a Family, Busy Eating, Wingnuts Warning, Roadhog, Hold On Tight, Horseplay, Watermelon Slice, Chair Shove, Splinter, and Code Edits. This is one of the ones that gets treated as an asset after you ever plays a Blitz ability. Cancel that ability. This will definitely be going into my Donnie deck once I get around to building that on UVS Ultra. We have Creating a Family, Above the City, Going Out, Youthful Optimism, Mean Intentions, Reboot, Horseplay, Bold and Calculating, Virtuous Plans, Bebop. I believe Bebop. Bebop was the one that I was thinking of that adds to both players' card pools. And our rare, or ultra rare in this case, is going to be Momentum Shift. Clearing all cards from your rival's card pool is definitely interesting, but at the same time, if they have no cards in their hand, getting damage for all those blocks they played is going to be really, really good. And we're on to our last pack here. Unless I'm mistaken, I don't think I've seen the 7 diff asset, the name of which is actually blanking on me right now. So let's see that one here. I think that would be a really exciting pack to end on. Off the Wall Kick, Kamikaze Robots, Grounded, Singing Fish, Quarterbacking from HQ, Daily Meditation, Hurling Insults, Leonardo's Discipline, Defend the Innocent, Mega Mutant, and unfortunately not, it's going to be Clumsy Entrance instead. Cool. Yeah, really good box, I would say. I really liked our key pulls here. And then I definitely got some cards, some ultra rares and rares that will be going into plenty of decks, going into playtesting locally and getting up to Canada and down to Atlanta from Massachusetts. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please, again, let me know down in the comments below what's your most excited card. What have you been brewing lately? Is there a character from this set that you've been really excited to play and you've got a build that you like? And I will see you guys in the next one. And once again, a huge thank you to UVS Games for sending us this product. It was a ton of fun to open. And if you liked what you saw, make sure to grab yours at your local game store August 15th. And I hope to see you guys at your locals coming up. See you.